All right, what up, y'all? I'm on this B-side over here looking like Mr. Glass in those Unbreakable movies, man. I'm gonna start doing my hair in the morning before I go on this. I'm over here looking like a combination of Mr. Glass and Donald Glover before he shaved his head off. Anyway, you know, there's a Toni Morrison quote I've been thinking about. I don't remember quotes verbatim, but she's talking about the power of racism, how racism is this force that distracts us from what we're supposed to do. We're told that we don't have any culture, so we dredge that up. We're told we don't have any art or language and all these things, so we spend years, decades dredging this up to prove it to who? To a bigot? Why are we wasting our time explaining things to people who don't care? They're bent and devoted to racism, to patriarchy, to all these things that are oppressing us. And not just black folks either. Everyone has some degree of oppression from that. And a lot of us don't realize it. So something I think about a lot is there are people I like having conversations with if they're open-minded. I don't judge people for having these different views. I judge people for not listening and understanding beyond themselves. So I think about all the years I spent on Facebook debating, politely arguing with folks about racist points. Now, I used to meet with some of these people. Now, I knew these people. It was Facebook. And a lot of those folks, I'd say probably about like 8 out of the 13 people that I met up with in person, had some drinks with, broke some bread, had some conversation, all white folks, they got it. They listened. They knew they were missing something. They knew their perspective wasn't there. There was another person I was friends with. I haven't spoken to them in years because it was right around when Trump first started running for office. And they're not a Trumper, but they were trying to tell me how brilliant it was that Benjamin Franklin argued that black people are 3/5 of a person because that way they had some kind of constitutional power. No, I don't believe that because I'm not 3/5 of a damn person. I don't have to settle for a compromise in order to give someone an applause. I'm not. You don't understand what it's like to have your people assumed and proven through false science that you're not completely human. And that mentality still carries on today. So another example, this was back in 2012. It was my last corporate gig. It was actually the first job I had where I was the oldest person on the team. Every other gig, I've been the youngest person in my 30s and my 20s. I am now 40, so it's not the case anymore. So Trayvon Martin had just got murdered, killed by George blah, 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 whatever, that fool. Okay, yeah, that fool. And that hit me because I was wild. Easily could have been me in multiple situations. And in this big open office cubicle space, it's maybe like 50 of us on like 3 different teams. And I think like 5 of us, maybe 4 were black, and maybe like 6 or 7 were not white. So it's overwhelmingly white, right? Well, one of the dudes, white dude who played baseball at ECU back in the day, or he was in his 20s, so it wasn't that far back in the day, said, hey, y'all. The bug flew in my mouth. Ah! Oh my God. That was protein, man. I gotta get that protein. Ah! Oh my God. All right. Hard pause. Oh my gosh. All right. Anyway, this dude, he said, hey, y'all, why don't everyone come over to my place tonight? We're going to have some Trayvon martinis. All black people, we all looked at each other immediately like, and we got real silent. And it became a thing. And I took this fool out to lunch because I didn't think he was a bad guy. I wanted to give him a chance, help him understand how stupid that comment was. What I found out is his younger sister hooked up with some brother and got pregnant, and now he's not in the picture. So confirmation bias for him, oh, this is what they are like. Some of y'all are just waiting for excuses to be racist. Some of y'all are waiting for excuses to say, see, I told you that's who they are. Meanwhile, y'all buck wild and don't care. Look at this fool that was the last president. Man, if Obama did a fraction of that, he'd be in jail. Here's another example, not from my own past. I saw on Twitter this morning a tweet that had gone viral because somebody who had a bunch of American flags and Trump stuff in their little Twitter bio shared a screenshot of Angela Davis from a news headline, and it says, Marxist professor who believes in reparations finds out she's descended from a slave owner. Okay, that was supposed to be some burn and gotcha moment from this like MAGA crowd, right? How is that a burn moment? This shows that folks don't have a basic understanding of history, of the context of this society that we're in. If we don't have a shared understanding of history, we can't move forward and embrace diversity. What do you think we need to have a shared understanding of history? Teaching, books. Oh, but they're banning books. So this is why some people who are politicians and other elected officials or people who have some level of power. Wait a minute, this dude's about to hit me. He ain't looking. Okay. All right. Y'all gotta look when you get to these intersections, man. People are walking. All right, so this is why they want to ban books. Because if you don't have an educated populace, they'll believe anything. And the common narrative is that black people are wrong, black people are less than. That's how slavery happened. It hasn't changed, right? There was a movement for black people to fight for our rights and fight for our freedom. Juneteenth is coming up, right? We celebrate Martin Luther King Day. What did y'all do to get over y'all stuff, right? So in the words of Toni Morrison, this is between y'all, leave me out of it. And I'm gonna keep walking. And maybe some folks will work on not being racist and, reading some banned books. Just a thought. Keep walking.